Hello and welcome to I'm Curious with T7, where we share stories, tips, advice so you can achieve your goals in a fraction of the time. And for the next two episodes, we will be covering everything financial education related. I'm your host T7, and today we have a very special guest joining with us. So if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself to listeners and tell them about a bit about you.
So my name is Christian the Truth Jones. I'm an international certified Les Brown speaker, international best-selling author, CEO of The Truth Speaks, and I show people how to invest in day trading and stock market.
That is absolutely amazing. And why don't you just give the people just a bit about your story and sort of what actually got you into day trading and options trading as a whole?
Sure. So as far as what got me into day trading and just the stock market in general, it was from actually seeing another kid. His name was Damon Williams, and this story ran some years ago. I think it was like 2010 when it originally ran. But I saw a rerun of it around 2015, around late or mid 2015. So I was about 8 or 9 years old. And so it was from really just seeing his story because it was that he first invested in Nike stock at 6 years old and then continued to invest in Nike stock and eventually built a $50,000 portfolio. So it was from hearing his story on how he got started that really got me interested and wanted to learn how I could do the same thing and how I could get and make $50,000. And so I originally began asking my mom if she could teach me how to invest in the stock market because I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it before, so just asked my parent. And initially, she said no, or she kind of just brushed me off because she didn't think that I was ready. And she had always wanted me to get into it, but she didn't think I was ready or that the information would be too complicated for me to learn at such a young age. And so, therefore, I decided to do my own research and find out what I could off the internet about the stock market and just find out whatever I could and could understand. And so eventually, about a month or two later, I came back to her and told her, "Hey, mom, I want to open up my brokerage account." And she was surprised because she didn't know what a brokerage account was herself. And then she was just surprised I actually went and did the research and I was serious about learning about the stock market. And so after seeing that, she actually began teaching me, and we actually took a course together and began not only learn how to invest in the stock market, but specifically how to trade in the stock market and do options.
That is absolutely amazing. And what would you say like sets you apart from others in your field of expertise?
I would say the main thing that sets me apart from others, besides my age, would have to be really, it depends. I say that. And the reason I say it depends is when it comes to just trading, I would say conservativeness. I'm very conservative and reserved when it comes to my trading. I don't like taking big risks. I take calculated decisions. However, when it comes to my courses, I would say really just caring because a lot of not even traders, but a lot of gurus on the internet that you see, they might have courses, they might teach forex, crypto. You can get all this for 99.99 or
Yeah.
whatever, but they don't really care. And when you take their course, let's say I have a question or I have a problem, there's no customer support, there's no customer service, there's nothing. You have the online information, you go through it, you don't, I don't care. That's not my problem
Mm.
as a guru. However, when it comes to my students and my clients, I want to make sure they're actually understanding the information because it's not just about me getting your money. It's really about
Yeah.
impact over income and making sure that you're understanding and learning information. So therefore, you can go out and teach your family, and so begin to create generational wealth.
Yeah, it's definitely important, especially just that how you said that generational wealth. Because it's all good and all like living an amazing life in the now, but it's about what's going to happen when you pass down the baton. Like, are they starting the relay race from the start, or are they actually starting from where you left? Are they picking up from where you left off? So it's pretty much just about understanding that and actually seeing that what you're doing today is not just for yourself, it's for what's going to come in the future.
Most definitely.
And what advice would you have for those who may be looking to get into finances, trading, and sort of like don't know how or even where to get started?
So I would say, in order to get into trading, in order to get to the stock market, or really anything that you want to get into, as far as learning a new information, you have to, ironically enough, invest in yourself. And I don't just mean monetarily by buying the course or just spending money on different courses and different things and products. I'm talking about investing your time, investing your, well, yeah, sometimes your money, and just investing in yourself in general so you can continue to grow and get to the next level. Because if you don't invest in yourself, then you can't expect to achieve the results. Any millionaire or billionaire will tell you this. If you don't invest in yourself, or had they not invested in themselves, they would not be where they are now. And you have to be willing to take those risks. Because the thing is, I know a lot of people, when it comes to talking about the stock market, oh, it's risky. Well, everything we do is risky. If
Yeah.
I'm eating, it's risky. If I'm driving or I'm in the car, it's risky. If I'm walking, I could trip and fall. It's risky. So everything we do on a daily basis, that's just simple tasks, is risky. This is no different. Except the only difference is it can continue to help you make money and grow the capital you already have, especially from either your job, if you're a business owner, or maybe if you have side hustles, whatever you're putting into the market.
Mm, exactly, exactly. And when it comes to just like investing as a whole, what would you say is like the number one tip that you would say is just like most pivotal to getting started, becoming a good trader, and just pretty much everything as a whole?
I'll say my number one tip, I would say it's more so two. It depends. That also depends. So if you're just getting started and you're actually learning how to invest and you're taking someone's course or you're reading a book or whatever, I would say it's really to study, study, and study and continue building your experience. Because the thing is, when you're starting off with investing, or more specifically trading, which is a little different, investing is just stocks. Trading is when you're dealing with options. And so when you're starting off learning how to invest and trade options, you want to begin building your experience in a way you can do that without any risk, ironically enough. Starting out, or the main way I have my students do it, is by paper trading, which is where you take $100,000 and just fake money and just build that experience and just continue to practice, 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 make those mistakes. And then when you make those mistakes, go back and study those mistakes and figure out why you lost and also why you won. That's why I say it's important for traders and investors to have a trading journal so they can go back and look at their own history, study the data, and then it helps them become a better trader in the long run. And then if you're already trading, if you're already done all that, you're already investing, I would say my number one tip would be number one, do not be greedy. Hard thing to do, hard thing to do. But it's very pivotal to not be greedy in the stock market because that will kill your account. I know that from personal experience. I built it back up, but I know that from personal experience.
Mm, yeah, it's actually definitely important to understand that. Like fear and greed, as those are like the two key emotions that come into play. Either knowing like when's enough, or actually being too scared to actually get started. So I would say that's definitely an important one. And could you actually break down sort of like options trading for those who have no idea what it is?
Sure. So basically, what options trading is, it's like I said, a little different from just basic stocks. But basically, what it is when you're dealing with options, you have ironically enough, the option to buy the stock, and that's a little different. But basically, when you're dealing with options, you have these things called contracts. So one contract is equal to 100 shares of stock. So if I get two contracts, three contracts, that's 200, 300, equivalent to 200, 300 shares of stock. And so also when you're dealing with options, you have this thing called an expiration date. And
Mm.
so the expiration date works just like an expiration date works on food items. You have until that date before that item becomes pretty much worthless and it goes bad. Same thing goes for options. If I have an expiration date for, let's say, let me just use today's example. This is recording. So February 12th, then if I had an option and I was down on that option and it expired today, so February 12th, then I just lost money on that option. It's going to automatically sell. It's okay. I move on to the next trade. But that's why when it comes to trading options, you have this thing called risk mitigation to make sure you either cut your losses short and then move on to another trade, or if you have enough time, continuing to just believe in that company. But that's a little different as well. And then last but not least, you have these things called a strike price, which is basically just the price you're going to be buying at, and it's not the actual stock price. So a quick example of what this means is, let's say I have Apple. Apple's current stock price is $300. However, me as an options trader, I can actually get in on Apple at $250 for my strike price. And so therefore, I'm doing what's called a call option. So I make money when the stock goes up. So if I get in at $250, Apple's current stock price is $300. As long as Apple is above $250 and continues to go up, then I'll make money. And then also you have the flip side, which is the opposite. So let's say again, Apple's stock price is $300, and I decide I want to play what's called a put option, which allows me to make money when the stock comes down. So I can play it both ways. That's the beautiful thing about options. And so I get my strike price at, let's say, $350. So now, as long as Apple doesn't get anywhere near $350 and continues going down, I'll be making money.
That is absolutely amazing. I really do hope that you guys have taken notes of that. And if not, feel free to rewind and actually head over to Truth Jones's Instagram as well. And what are some tips that you can share to listeners just to like get better at managing their money?
I would say, really, if you don't feel like necessarily doing it yourself, I would either call up your broker or get yourself what's called a fiduciary. Because the thing is, the difference between a broker and fiduciary is a broker, they don't have to necessarily, they don't have to believe in your trades, or they don't really care. However, a fiduciary is legally obligated to care about your money or actually learn how to do it yourself. Because the thing is, also, when it comes to options, you don't have to be constantly. Many people have the stereotype you're on the computer constantly every day for hours on end. Well, I don't have time for that. Well, trust me, I don't have time for that either. Nor would I be trading options if I had to do that. I go to school. Because the thing is, when it comes to options, you have four main trading styles that can allow you, based on how much time you have in a day, to use one of those trading styles. And so basically, what they are, you have number one, which is scalping, which is almost like the stereotype, where you're on the computer doing what's called technical analysis and looking at the candlesticks and make your trades off that. It's very quick, it's very surgical. Then you have day trading, which is a little different. While scalping, you're making, let's say, $500, $600, $700 in a couple minutes. Day trading is a little different, where I get in at, let's say, as soon as the market opens, so around 9:30, and then I exit out my trade at right before the market opens, so 3:30, 3 o'clock. And then, boom, I made my trades for the day. Or if I made multiple trades, I can do that as well. But then you have the strategies where a lot of traders make their big money. And one of my favorite strategies, which is swing trading and position trading. So first, let's talk about swing trading. So swing trading is typically when you will have your expiration date a couple months out, and typically it is played on calls when it comes to trading. So it is typically on calls. And with swing trading, you pretty much just place a trade, let's say this month, and then my expiration date isn't until September. And then at that point, I just let it ride and sell it whenever I hit my target profit. Same thing goes for position trading. Only difference is its expiration date is pretty much the maximum over a year, or its maximum of 2 years out. And at that point, same thing, you just let it ride and continue to let you make money. You don't have to watch it actively. While you do, you want to pay attention to the market and get out just in case it goes bad and goes against you. But in general, you don't have to watch it, and you can continue doing whatever else you do.
That is quite an explanation. I think that's definitely good to understand, like sort of like the different types of trading, because
Yes, sir.
especially when it comes to trading, people just think there's this one, sort of like this one shoe that fits all. But it's about understanding like there's day trading, there's swing trading, and as you actually mentioned, all of them. And by doing so, you're actually able to sort of like understand which one would best fit in your current situation as well.
Yep.
And how can people sort of like stay ahead with the ever-changing markets?
I would say one of the ways that I stay ahead is by buying the rumor and selling the news.
Hmm.
So if there's a rumor that a company might be coming out with a new product, a new service, might be collaborating with another company, like I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a rumor Microsoft is going to be collaborating with Apple or whoever. And so that rumor starts this month. So as an options trader and as just an investor in the stock market paying attention to this, so like, that's gonna be a possible jump. And looking back at historical data and seeing when companies typically merge, they have huge runs, or if a company is acquired, they have huge runs. And let's say Microsoft is going to be, there's a rumor it's going to be acquiring Apple. And so therefore, I go ahead and place a call option on Apple this month. And so when the actual news comes out around, let's say June, then well, I can go ahead sell my option as soon as everybody else is just now hearing about it. So I bought the rumor and I sold the news. So that's one way you can stay ahead.
I love that. Buy the rumor and sell the news. And are there any last words of advice, tips, encouragement you'd like to leave the listeners with? And also, where can they find you?
Yes. So my last words of advice wouldn't necessarily have to do with investing in the stock market, but more so with just life or business in general, which is to follow GPA. And I don't mean grade point average in school now. We're talking about having a goal, having a plan, and taking action. So
Mm.
first, having a goal. So when you're defining a goal, what exactly is that? A goal is something you have absolutely no control over when it comes to achieving it. Because the thing is, you want to separate that, the difference between a goal and a project. Goal, you have absolutely no control over. A goal would be like me wanting to sell $1 million worth of these hoodies on by Instagram. I have no control over who buys my hoodies. However, a project will be setting up the website, actually getting the hoodies printed, getting different designs, etc. So you want to set your main goal up here and then have projects as the stepping stones in order to reach that goal. And that comes into your plan and breaking down what you need to do in order to reach that goal. And really, when it comes to planning, I'm running low, planning out your plan, there are different templates
Mm.
of people that are, I guess you could say, in your industry. And so I'm not saying copy exactly what they did. I mean, copy their template on how they achieved their success and then add your own spin onto it, add your own brand onto it. I'm not talking about plagiarism and copying other people's brand. No, we ain't doing that. And then last but not least, you have to take action. So the main thing is, or that's actually the most important part is taking action because you can have all the dreams, goals, plans, whatever you want, but if you don't take action on it, it it's just a dream. It's just there.
Mm.
And where you can find me on Instagram at the Truth 2024. And if you want to check out any of my programs or count one of these hoodies, then you can go to my website, thetruthjones.com.
Thank you so much, guys. I really do urge you guys go and check it out. And thank you so much for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. That's it from me. Bye.